So you want to start by printing out the free helmet template, which you can get at thewoodlandelf.com/pattern/starlord, and this is sized to fit my head, so you may have to shrink or enlarge
how big
it
or how
depending
small your head is. Hey, this might be a good look for me.
And so then you'll cut 2 side pieces from 3mm foam and 1 front piece from 3mm foam, and then the pieces are going to fit together like that. The little tab on the side will stick out, but basically they'll just fit together just like that around it. So then just take your glue gun and put a little glue on the edges and glue those pieces together. You want to do that to both sides. And then where the dotted lines are on the templates, you'll just want to cut those out. And then you'll cut the eyebrow piece from 3mm foam and the mouth area piece from 5mm foam. So the eyebrow piece just gets hot glued above the eyes, and the other piece gets glued into the mouth area. Once you've got it glued in place, you'll just want to cut off those tabs so that they're even with the height of the 5mm foam piece you just glued. And do it on both sides. And so then cut a rectangle of 2mm foam, and you'll just wind that around in a circle and glue it into the eye socket. You'll do that on both eyes. And then cut out the dotted lines on the side piece of the template. So then you'll cut 2 pieces from 3mm foam and 2 of this piece from 5mm foam, and then 2 sets of curves from cardstock. And then you'll glue the 3mm piece at the top. The 5mm piece fits into that, and then the 2 cardstock curves go right around those. Then of course you'll do the same thing on the other side. So then you'll just cut kind of a rectangle with a curve at the top, and you'll glue that to the back side of the helmet. Once you've got it glued in place, you'll just cut it right down the center. Then you'll cut 2 rectangular foam pieces and put a little hot glue on one half. Glue it to the underside of the helmet. You'll do that with both pieces of the foam. Then just take some sticky back velcro and put a piece of that on each tab. And then you'll put the corresponding pieces of velcro on the underside, the other side of the helmet, so that you'll be able to open and close the back of the helmet easily. Just like that. So next take a piece of cardstock and roll it up into a cylinder. Then hot glue the edge in place. Then take a jointed drinking straw and drill a couple holes through a piece of 3mm foam. And then cut out a couple circles to fit on the edges of the cylinder. Then hot glue them in place, one on each side. And then your straw should still fit right through the holes. So then take a rectangle of 3mm foam, not quite as wide as the cylinder, and then just hot glue it around the cylinder, leaving just a little bit of a tail on the one end. Then take a couple of scrapbooking brads and push those through the tab. Spread the tails out on the back side. It'll give the illusion of bolts. Kind of like that. And then you'll just hot glue one of those little cylinders to each side of the helmet. First you'll take a second jointed straw, and you want to push that into the first straw so that you end up with 2 joints. Then you just bend that around the 5mm piece and cut off the excess. So then you end up with this. And of course do the same thing to the other side of the helmet. Next cut a rectangle of 5mm foam and cut off the corners. And then those will just get glued on to both sides of the helmet to cover up the gaps. And then you'll take another jointed straw and bend that around to the front and down. And then you'll cut off the excess and do that to both sides of the helmet, of course. And take another jointed straw, cut it down to size, and push the end into the straw coming out of the cylinder. Do that to both sides. Bend the ends in toward the middle of the helmet. Then take another one of the 5mm pieces of foam and glue that right over the straw ends, squishing them down to hold them in place. And then glue another piece of the same shape right over the top of that. So then just take 3 small pieces of straw and glue them one by one onto the side of the helmet. Just like that. So then here is the entire helmet assembled, and everything should be the same on both sides. So then you want to paint over the entire helmet with some Elmer's glue, and you want to give it 3 coats of the glue. That'll help make it smooth and help it take the paint better. And then once the glue is dry, you give it a coating of metallic silver paint. That's going to serve as the base coat, some of the details. And then just brush on some metallic gold paint in the appropriate areas. So I did the eyes, the cardstock pieces, and a couple little spots on the side. And then you want to brush on some metallic gunmetal gray over most of the rest of it, leaving just a few places silver in the gunmetal gray, like all the straws and the cylinders, the outline of the cylinders, a few pieces on the front. Basically just look at a picture and see what to leave silver. So then I took a Sharpie and I just drew those lines on the front of the mask. So then take a piece of clear stiff plastic and color over it with a red marker. Then rub off the red with a napkin. It'll leave a slight red stain. It'll help it take the marker better the second time around. And so just cut 2 circles out of that, and they're going to be the eye lenses. And keeping the markered side to the inside of the helmet, you just want to squish those into the eye sockets. And then you'll take your red marker again and color over them one last time from the inside. It won't really dry, but they'll be deep enough inside that you won't have to worry about it rubbing off. So then there's the finished helmet.